Hey, how you doing? Thanks for downloading the show. Welcome to Garden Fork Radio. It's me, your host, Eric. I have this podcast and a YouTube channel, also called Garden Fork. It's eclectic DIY. It's kind of like interesting stuff I want to share. I hope you like that. If you do I have to hit the subscribe button? I think on the podcast app, at least on Apple, it's not subscribe, it's follow. Anyway, there's 500 episodes if you're interested. I think the most 100 recent ones you can get on the Apple podcast app. I don't know about the other podcast apps. Anyway, welcome. Today, a couple things I wanted to bring up. I do some journaling. I write on my laptop. I use the Apple Notes program, and I have a note there called Journal, and I just write out the date, and then I just do a brain dump. And I did that this morning, and I'm trying to create a habit out of that. And we can talk about atomic habit stuff, but I'm all about tiny steps, and I just write things down and remind myself. So I usually will leave the apartment if I'm in Brooklyn. There's a couple of, because of course this is Park Slope and Brooklyn, there's coffee places, and sometimes you can't get a seat in these places because they're so full of people with their laptops or having a deep conversation with their friend, which is totally fine. But I just do a brain dump. It doesn't have to be paragraphs. It doesn't have to be pages. And today, I didn't really have a whole lot to talk about. It was just kind of like, so I just wrote some stuff down. And I like the Apple Note program because it automatically saves it. You can opt to lock a note within the Notes app, which I like. And it puts it in the cloud so I can open it up on my iPad or my phone or my desktop computer. I like that inner usability, for lack of a better word. Because everyone has these buy this special journal to write in, or YouTube videos about how to journal. And I kind of go by start typing and stop when you think you're done and pause, drink your jasmine green tea, and see if there's anything else you want to write out. Yeah, that works. I did my exercise also today. It's I figured out what to do there. I basically have the exercise video on my iPad, and I like the couple that does. It's called HasFit, a weird name, I know. HASFIT. It's short for Heart and Soul Fitness. But they have exercise videos. They have 10-minute ones. If you want to start, again, tiny steps, 10-minute exercise videos, and then you're like, all right, I did that. And then you could do the 10-minute one again tomorrow, and then you could move up to the 30-minute one, or they have longer ones. I don't know. They just have a really great energy. They're not like getting all big buff. There's another exercise person I follow, and I watched I was going to do one of their stretching videos, and the person was like whipping themselves around, and I'm like, wait, you have to slow down, and I cannot do that just yet. So I think that was for another level of fitness people, but the HasFit people are very go at your own pace. I have the free weights. You can do hand weights with them, but I'm convinced that the resistance bands, the kind with the handles that you can clip on, and they have varying thicknesses of band to make it harder to pull, I think that moves more muscle groups, because with hand weights or bar weights, you're just using gravity. And some exercises you can't do with gravity. Some muscle groups I don't think you can do with gravity nearly as easy as you can with resistance bands. So I just search on HasFit I just scroll through and find their resistance band ones, and I do a 30-minute one now. And I know it fairly well enough now that I play it on the iPad, and on the big TV, I have this YouTube channel where they rebuild tanks. They're in England. The channel's called Mr. Hughes, Hewes. And I have the volume up on the tank video, and I have the volume down on the exercise video, because I basically know the routine. I just need someone to do it with. And sometimes I lose track and they're already on the next exercise, which is not the end of the world. So I get I watch my tank videos because it's kind of is eye candy, the lack of a better word. I don't know, but I know all about tanks now, and I really like that. They're amazing machines, and they are in the UK. There's evidently a lot of tanks in the UK from the various wars, and I don't think there are a lot of surplus tanks in the United States proper. I haven't really looked into that, but just my feeling there. So yeah, I talked about journaling, exercise, and going outside. That really helps my brain. I got a really cool Christmas card from a gentleman named Gig. I've talked about him maybe a couple times. I hope he's listening. Him and his partner. And we finally realized that our post office box up at the little house is really messed up. It's a P.O. box, and I liked it because I use that for Garden Fork. It's kind of it doesn't really matter where I live in New York. I still have that P.O. box up at the house, and people can send me things, which is fine. But we finally determined that our post office box, the rental had expired, and either we missed the notice or they didn't tell us. The problem is our post office is has been downsized to a part-time kind of post office annex. There isn't a postmaster, and there's these part-time people. They're usually new to the post office. They don't know much, and every couple of weeks there's a new person in there. And it seems like just a bunch of the result of one person not working there all the time. Our mailbox was closed, and anyway, I opened up the mailbox, and this really cool lino block card, 3-color print this time. So thank you, Gid. That was really quite nice. It's lino block is a lot of fun. Of course, there's some Garden Fork videos about that. We continued to tap the trees last weekend. I just put out 2 videos about tapping the trees, really kind of very much not how-to videos, but more about watch us tap trees, and really more likely watch Andy and Spike while I tap the trees with my friend. Just complete goofballs. They love snow. They love sticks. They like the ball. They just like being outside with you, and they'll come over and wag their tails and be goofballs with you and like lick your face, and then they run off and chase each other, and then they just lie down near you and they just kind of watch while you do your work. And it's totally a lot of fun. The sap is running. I'm going to take my sap down to my friend Bill's house. He lives on the main road that goes through our town. It's a highway. It's a state highway. The logistics of getting the sap down there, I thought were going to be easy because I have a flat tank I thought I could put in the car. But the tank is big enough that sliding it into the back of the Subaru, you can't really fill it up while it's in the back of the Subaru. I'm going to need to put it in a trailer. I don't own a trailer. I have a friend who has a big aluminum trailer, and then I have a neighbor who has a steel trailer that's a little smaller. Thinking about how to do this. Think about the easiest way to do this, because it's kind of like cutting firewood. You want to handle the firewood or the sap as few times as possible, which is a lot of times people have a sap house at the bottom of a big sugar bush that's up on a hill, and they run tube taps all the way to the sugar house and into a storage tank. So they don't have to do anything. It just runs. It's just right next to the sap house there. So yeah, looking forward to boiling. That'll be a lot of fun. And I'm curious to see what the sugar content is this year, because the first half of the summer was a drought, and then the second half was no rain and then an inch of rain, and then no rain and then an inch of rain, within an hour. And so that ran off a lot. But the sap is running, and that's a good thing. I like that. I'm going to take a short minute here and drink from my plastic water cup, okay? There you go. Are you guys backing up your work computer files to a cloud server? I've not done that before, and I'm going to start. I have all these media files, all these video files and photo files. It's I have four 4-terabyte hard drives plus at least 2 1-terabyte drives, perhaps. So it's about 18 gigabytes of data. And I have backups of them. I have clones of the 4-terabyte drives, which I usually keep in a separate place, but I just noticed that I have everything all here at once. So I copied all of the drives to a 22 terabyte drive, and then I'm going to use a company called Backblaze, I believe that's the name, Backblaze, to update it, to upload it to the cloud. It'll take probably a week in the background, running the background of the computer. But what's cool about that is you can set the backup cycle. You want to do it every day, every week, every month. And then the software goes through your big storage drive, which is going to be the 22 terabyte drive. And anything that has been updated will get backed up. All the files that have been static, haven't changed, nothing's going to happen with that. So my big worry is that, there's some kind of like a big water leak in the apartment or a water leak in the house upstate, and it ruins all the hard drives. You've lost all your data. You've lost your backups of any kind of movies, videos and stuff. And the Backblaze, I think it's like $9 a month. So I'm going to check that out. If you're interested, I will put if the name is different, I'll put it in the show notes here. All right. So yeah, that's a little bit of an Eric brain dump here. And my voice is going. It's because the air is really dry, but it is warming up, which is really nice. So always love to hear from you guys. It's radio@gardenfork.tv. And yeah, go out and do cool stuff and make it a great day. I'll see you. Garden Fork Radio is produced by Garden Fork Media LLC in Brooklyn, New York. The music in the show is licensed from audioblocks.com and uniquetracks.com.